Phoenix of the team.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We got another chart talk coming at you. It is Tuesday, August 16th. We are approaching the slowest 2 weeks of the year. We're 3 weeks until the end of the summer, until Labor Day. So, it's getting through it. But I mean, there's a lot, the summer trading, it's not really that slow as it used to be. We were just talking about the action going around the market. We saw a lot of feisty action all over. We were just talking about the retail names internally before this. And, all right, so we're seeing the S&P in this upward channel very quickly. What is that, 4 or 5 weeks since the July lows? A month to the day. No, not a month to the day. A little over a month is we tapped these lows at 371, and now we're very quickly at 430 in the SPY. We're tapping that 200-day simple moving average resistance. This is big resistance, but there's two things that we know, and this is what I was trying to say pre-market, is we know that the market's overbought right now, and there's going to be some sort of pullback. Even if the bottom's in, we need consolidation, whether it be sideways or whether it be a pullback. We need some sort of thing. That's the first thing we know. And the second thing we know is that the market can remain in this little rising uptrend, longer than that makes sense. Those two things can both be true. We can need a pullback, and we can also not get a pullback. Both those things can be true. So right now it's navigating that, and we'll talk in the end about predictions, whether the next 5% in the S&P will be up or down. So you guys have that to look forward to. But as far as market outlook, I'm getting a little cautious in this area. I'm still trading mostly things to long side. I've begun to leg into a couple shorts. We'll talk about that in a bit. But it's been a huge rally. Don't fight the trend. We've been, moving higher at a very rapid pace. But my thinking is that we've seen this a lot this year. And then, as soon as we start getting exuberant and things start looking great, that's when the sell comes. Maybe things have changed. Maybe this is a new bull market. I'm not sure about that as much. But, I'm definitely getting cautious in this area and, not as aggressively taking longs. So that's what I got. What are you thinking over there, Big Ben? You're muted. You're muted.
Yeah, I know.
There you go.
I got Blue chewing on his dog toy back here, so I want to.
That's growth. You muted it when your dog was barking? Look at that. Look at that.
All right, so I'm in the same camp with you with a lot you already mentioned, so it's not going to be a broken record, but some individual sectors, utilities has been the first sector to hit a new all-time high. And again, utilities are now the leader. A few months ago was energy. Beginning end of the year, we had technology and consumer discretionary. So leadership has constantly been rotating. And given that utilities is now retesting this new all-time high, the last time that we had a spot to add in was up to this little flag here. You good, Jake?
One of my cables got knocked out in the back. I'm good.
Oh, damn.
So annoying. Yeah.
So anyways, the last buy that we kind of had mentioned in the utilities was up through this 152. It's now retesting this all-time high. It has pushed through, which is not the most surprising thing at these retests. You have people kind of chasing this move. But this is the time to be much more aggressive with our sell stops. It looks amazing. It looks perfect. This is the time to play more defense. So if you were buying 152 and you haven't taken any profits, stop under 167 could make some sense if it's to roll back under this level. And we're seeing some other strong sectors. The industrials been in this very big downtrend this year. It's finally breaking the resistance line of this downtrend. And again,
God, look at that move.
It's like insane. Again, we were buying 165 a month ago. It's 20 plus points higher. This is, again, raising the stop. I don't want to try to catch the top here. Maybe still drift higher, maybe drift to 200. That I'm not sure about. But for now, if it rolls under 186, I want to take some profits. I want to, we were risking a couple bucks down here. We're up more than 5-1 on this entry. You can't give these things back if the market is going to pull back in. And again, I don't want to sound like broken record, but a lot of these things, Dow 30, we were buying up to 320 and just raising those stops as we start to push into these kind of upper resistance areas. And again, you already spoke about the SPY. Again, all these things off, just very, very strong. Really not much to say here. Consumer, staples breaking out. We were buying a month ago, just raising those stops, and it's kind of the same here with all of these major sectors. So a lot of things breaking out. Hard to chase these names. A lot of it just being more defensive up here, and making sure that we lock these profits and we don't give them back. So that's my little take on that. It's back to you, Shake. We talk about some top ideas or talk about the car set?
Yeah. Just wanted to add one little tidbit where we're talking about my screen being shared. We're talking about a little exuberance in the market. We're seeing all the meme stocks return. We saw Bed Bath and Beyond today that had it was up like 50% at one point, or even more than that. I don't even know. That's just giving me a lot of caution in this market. That's really it. You want to hop into what do you say? Good trade, bad trade, top ideas. You're muted. You're muted. This is
Yeah. Knock them both out, and I'll do my top idea and go to bad trade as well.
All right. So I'll go over my good and bad trades. Let's see. I got this Visa working. I really like this setup. I bought it yesterday. You can see. All right. So on the daily chart, we see it trying to come out of this massive macro pattern. Been in a consolidation since pretty much a year. It looks like it's finally beginning to break out of it. We want to look at how I traded it intraday. Here's a 15-minute chart. I bought that 214 area yesterday. Pulled in. I got it some. I saw this 213 hold. Then I really loaded the boat. It was a little annoying today, but closed very strong. I'm confident this one will break out the rest of the week. I like this position a lot. This NOC looks really good. Shouts out to Jay. He called this one out really nicely Friday through that 475. That was the first entry. And this is just simply having a buy stop 475. Wasn't watching it Friday. It was the first entry. Then 482 is that last pivot point. We can see here this 482 area. So I added some stock there. I got out a little bit today in case we do want to pull back. But my plan is to rebuy the stock that I got out of through this 490. Just a little caution right here. I'm just seeing such exuberance in the market. We'll talk about that in a bit, of course. NOC, Apple, NOC, Visa, and then this Duolingo. I'll tell you how to trade this one. So Friday we had that kind of base breakout. This is the 106, 105 area. That's the area we want to see. We go to a daily chart. We can see it's sitting within a huge base, and this 106 area is the spot that's got to break. Go to intraday, how I traded it. So I know that support's all the way down at this 92. I'm buying this 106. I'm not giving all this stock down to this 92. So when I see this stalling at the top end of the range, this 109, that's what I'm getting out of stock. And then yesterday, when it came back to my price, it was flagging at it. I know that if I want to stay in this trade, I got to give it down to this 92. It's a lot of room. It's $14 and a $100 name. So I got out to a comfortable size, break even, and I've only had profitable kicks in this name, so I got some P&L on my side. So now I can afford to give it all the way down to this 92, and now I'm looking for this ad, for my next ad. So I want to be smart about it. I didn't rush into an ad today in case I want to pull back further, but I think this one's still looking good. I think it's got a quarter, next 3 months, it'll break out of this base and be a solid gainer. But those are my three that I like right now, and I started legging into this Bristol Myers short. So all right, so it's got this resistance. And if we look on a daily, we can see Bristol Myers. Drug makers have been weak. I've been trading this AbbVie a little bit. That's like the leader in the space. They broke down on earnings. It's kind of been bear flagging at this 200-day simple moving average. I've been trading that one a bunch, but I started legging more and more into this Bristol Myers short. I was long Friday and actually sold most of it into that 76.50. And then when it couldn't break this huge resistance area, we see all these moving averages. We see the sideways resistance. We see this 100-day simple moving average now acting more so as resistance. It couldn't break above that area. So I began. I was getting long the name. I was buying. I was adding into that resistance Friday. And then when it wasn't breaking that area with conviction, I pretty much got out all my stock. And then I saw it was weak Monday. I actually hit a little bit of short. I was thinking to myself, all right, market's overbought. I'm buying into resistance on an overbought market. What am I doing type thing? And then it started showing weakness at that resistance level. So I hit a little bit short into the close today. I hit some more short below the 73.75. I think this has room to the bottom end of the range. So I like that one a lot. Those are the four names I'm really focusing on right now. I've been talking a lot. So you want to give what you've been up to, and I'll do my Good. What I like after this. Unmute.
Yeah, 1 second. All right. So good trade, Pepsi. Blue Sky Breakout. I forgot, I think it was, one of the members called this out last week. I think it was Hernandez, I forget who, but someone called this out, textbook A+ setup. We see this multiple attempts at all-time highs. We call this Blue Sky Breakout because it breaks out to new all-time highs, hence blue skies. So we've seen 1, 2, 3 major attempts. This is over the span of 8 months. And we see, more importantly, the buyer stepping up. So this was the low, pulls back in, higher low, pulls back in, higher low, pulls back in again, higher low. Each time this happens, it's a tighter that the less risk we have to give. The more times it sets up, the less risk we have to give as the buyers step up and create better areas of support. So we were able to buy the all-time high, buying Pepsi at the most expensive price it's ever traded at. And if we're wrong, it's 3% risk. And now that it's breaking out higher, everyone that owns this stock is happy if they're long. If they're short, obviously they're not, but everyone who owns this stock is very happy. No one's in the biggest rush to sell this thing. But the one thing we do have to remember is Humana, again, what completely different sector, but very similar chart. We saw this same blue sky pattern setting up a few weeks ago, and it's broken out higher, but it isn't as much of an easy entry as it is. It's often not as clean where it just breaks and just runs off to new highs. It can still kind of test this area, but if you give it the proper room and you give it some time, often it could be a pretty decent swing relative to the risk to give it. So this one for now, the proper stop should still probably be versus 172. Not trying to give that break-even stop because you'll probably more likely get shaken out with it not failing. So that's current trade that's working. One of the members called this one out that I'm in. For top ideas, the CRM, again, a lot of these bigger names, all these Dow 30 large cap names, we've been seeing a lot of these big bases form over the past few months. And that's, again, we're going to do more later, but why I think that we retest new all-time highs before we see new lows, because a lot of these bigger companies, we're seeing these big bases, and it's can CRM base out here and then bear flag break lower? Of course, but probability wise, I don't think so. But so again, for here, we see this big base forming in CRM. Again, earnings are around the corner in about a week or so, so I would wait until after earnings. But if this does break above this kind of 194 area, it definitely has some room to work itself higher. Another one is this Zoom, another base that's been forming here with earnings in about 2 weeks. So a lot of those names I've been keeping an eye on. And again, you mentioned earlier this AN and this GPI, some of the alerts that you had set earlier today with these retail automotive stocks that I'm not in these, but these are just alerts that we're going off. That we can talk about a little bit later. But those are my top ideas and good and bad trade.
All right, cool. Let me do some top ideas. Share that screen real quick. All right, so top ideas. I mentioned this Visa. Definitely focusing on this one. Coming out of a huge pattern, huge upside. Earnings behind it. This is actually a big earnings flag right here these past few weeks. So it's an earnings flag taking at a macro resistance level within a very strong sector. So I like that one a lot. I'm focusing on that one. This NOC I mentioned again, it looks like it's finally ready to take out these all-time highs, and then who knows from there. More sideways we get right here, the better. I'm planning on adding to my position through those highs, even though I have pretty good stock from 478 or so, but I still want to add those new highs. So this Rollins, this woke up today. This is a nice little move on earnings right here. Today, I think would have been a great entry off these lows. If we zoom in, huge move on earnings, 50% retracement, and now we're seeing that buying come back in. Then if we look to a weekly chart, we just see it's within this huge macro pattern. So like this Rollins, would have liked to have bought some today at a lower price, but I'll continue to monitor that one. This CYTK, shouts out to Kusha. He's hitting us from high school. Hitting us with charts from high school. So I bought this one a little bit today against this 49. You see this 49 support area. Let's go to hourly chart. Strong move on earnings, and we see it's turning this 49 area into new support. So this one looks like a cute little trade. I'd look to take profit on this one. on a retest of these highs. Just, looking for a single or double right here. So that one looks pretty solid. This AstraZeneca. So this one's very gappy. I think it's an ADR, but it's just within a very nice consolidation here through this. We see this through the 68 area. This one looks really solid. This one's still working on this pattern, but we can see the consolidation in front of the level. It's been sitting in this area for months. So once it's able to break above that area, it looks really good. And that BNY short, below these this 74 right here, I like that one. And then this ABBV, I'm not sure what to make of it. If it fails this area, it definitely looks like a short, but it's hanging on to this 200-day simple moving average well. So, not really sure which way this one wants to break, but if it wants to break down, I'll hit some 140 short or so. But I'm staring at that one. So that's really it. Stop the share. So now, question of the day, Bennett. Let's bring up the SPY. Next 5%. Next 5% move in the S&P 500. Is it going to be higher or is it going to be lower? That would bring us to around, are we going to hit SPY 400 or are we going to hit SPY 460 first? I would love to hear your thoughts, please.
So again, I'm still in the camp that we retest. Hold on, let me share my screen. I'm still in the camp that we retest all-time highs, but near end of year into 2023. I'm still in that camp. So it's 460 versus 400. I mean, it's tough here because we've already gone on this kind of run already. But I still think that with everyone, there's that popular saying, when the market falls, it's the slope of hope. Everyone's trying to find a reason for the market to stop dropping. On the way up, it's the wall of worry. Wall of worry. I was gonna say wall of fear, and I'm like, that doesn't sound right. Wall of worry. So I think right now it's that wall of worry. Everyone is just worrying about interest rate, inflation, interest rates, what the Fed's doing, what the Fed's not doing. Are we going to enter a bear market or correction? I think there's just so much of that worry out there right now that most are forgetting that how far we have bounced off these lows, and like people waiting for 360. I think is you're going to really be waiting for a long time. That like how you had that thing drawn out in the beginning. I feel like we still kind of stay within this trend. And again, 460 might be a little aggressive. I think both those ranges, for now, it's like a chip shot is 440. But I think we see
that's why we're doing it.
I mean, I get it. I'm with you, but I think we see 460 before we see 400.
Okay.
But
okay. Yeah. Take the first stance.
Ending to point of that, I think is if you were already positioned for this move, you will be able to take advantage. But I think if you are getting in now, you are so late that the risk reward really isn't there. SPY wise, individual stocks it's always gonna be different, but I think if you're blindly buying the SPY here, it's 1-to-1. Either you get 460 or 400. But if you're already in it and buying weekly like we do at M1, then you're obviously fine. So that'll be my little take on this question.
All right, that's fair. So I'll share mine. Similar chart. So I am in the opposite camp. I think we test this 400 area first. Just looking at this run, even if the bottom is in, I think the exuberance is getting too high. I think we went too far too fast, and I got a text message that just like made me want to just sell everything. One of my buddies who's like, he's like the party guy. He's not like he's the does way too much on the weekends, in his 30s, looks like 65 because he's just putting his body through hell. He started investing a month ago, and now he texts me every day how easy it is, how he bought DraftKings at 10 and it's at 20 now. He's already doubled his money, or he bought it at 12 and it's already at 20. So he's up like 75% in there, 66, whatever it is. Everything's so easy. The next one he's texting me is Decker's Outdoor. He's like, I just keep buying this one. So, and then that, along with seeing the Best Buy, Bed Bath & Beyond up 40%, and along with seeing the meme stock frenzy returns. And there's all these articles about the retail traders. Mm-hmm. Retail traders are all coming back to the market in full force. Mm-hmm. And I don't think the selling's done in the market. I think we see 400 first. I think we could test 380. I think we could even come back down and test that 360. You look at historically bear market rallies. This is par for the course. Mm-hmm. These 20% rallies have happened over and over again within greater bear markets. So I'm not. I would love to be wrong, and I'm still trading everything to the long side for the most part. I'm legging into shorts slowly, but not aggressively. Like I'm still very aggressively long, which gave me a real fucking scare today. It was real fun. But I do think we come down soon. I think this test of the 200 day. I think what I think is very difficult is trying to catch these turns. I've been trying to do it this year. Higgins has been pretty good at it, but right now he's going through a lot of pain. I know because if you look at how they've done it, it's so tricky. Where it's like we have the exuberance, the top here, then we have the inside day, then we sell off a little bit, retest, the area, and then we start aggressively selling off. So timing these tops for a short is proves to be very, very difficult. It's not something I want to throw a ton of money at, but that's where my head's at. Is I think we see 400 before we see 460. I think, and you're saying people are worried about the Fed. I'm worried about the Fed. I'll be that guy. I think people are pricing in these rate cuts for next year. I think people are too hard. I think inflation's not coming down. It's nice that we got it off 9%, and we saw it coming a little bit, but I think it's going to prove to be very difficult to get it below 6 or 5% versus. So here's the stat that's in my mind. We kept talking about the Stanley Druckenmiller interview. Okay, when inflation goes above 5%, it's never come back down to that 2 to 3% target level until the federal funds rate is above the CPI. Right now, the CPI is 8.5%, and federal funds rate is about 2.5%. So that huge discrepancy is just telling me there's too much room in between that area to just forget about it. So I just I think that has to come and kick into the market soon. I hope you're right. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah. The only thing with CPI though is like it's a very manipulated number. That it's if we had a real CPI number and it wasn't like the one where they kind of use it in their own best interest, it would be a much different number.
I mean, well, you can look at things like the PPI, which is a producer's price index, which is the cost of materials and things like that. That's also skyrocketing. It's not. I know that energy and gas has taken a huge amount of the CPI up, and we're seeing that come in, and that's the main reason for why we've seen the CPI come down in July. But if you look at the other categories like food and things like that, those are still up. So I don't see inflation going anywhere anytime soon. I'm glad we got smart and run, but I'm very cautious right here.
Nice. All right, guys. Well, let's see. If you guys agree with Shake, I guess drop Shake in the comments. If you agree with me, Ben, we'll see who you guys.
If you agree with Bennett, like the video. If you agree with me, comment on the video. Let's just get the numbers going.
Okay. Okay. Right? I like that. All right. I guess other than that, Shake, we got some announcements. Again, watch case is in. Watch is almost done. I'm going to post a picture in the group of like the new dial that we've been working on. Of that in like a month, hopefully. We'll be moving to Discord in 2 weeks, which should be
big moves.
Big, finally, big Shake. It took so long to convince Shake to go to Discord. This guy just
yeah.
It was always Shake. He was always saying no Discord. It was always him. So you can blame him for it taking 5 years.
That's fine. Yeah, whatever it takes. I think that's it. That's all we got for you guys. All right. Like, subscribe, give us all that good love. Till next time, guys. Later.